Welcome to the Jamodi podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. The Jamodi podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products.
But simplicity to practice schedules too. Just simplicity. Like I asked the people on Sunday, I really try to keep it simple. I think the simpler a task, the quicker the quicker you learn it, the more likely the recall is going to be better. I think when you know something, you perform it at a quicker level too. You can play a little faster, and so we try to keep things simple. So I asked the coaches on Sunday, and we had a wide variety. We had a really nice guy that he's trying to coach his daughter's fourth grade team, but he'd like to go with her all the way up through and help out.
How cool is that? Yeah.
We've got a guy that works for us, Mike Harden, that works for us from North Dakota, does the same thing. He comes to Snow Valley now because he's a retired military guy. And so he just wants to do workouts. And then through that, he's bringing 16 girls to Snow Valley from North Dakota, And so I had guys like that, and Mike Harden was at one of Coach Shoulder's coaching academies, And so then he come work Snow Valley. So that was kind of the audience I had, was high school head coaches, assistants, some middle school people, men's and women's sides. So it was a really good crew of people to talk to. So I threw out something. I said, "Okay, how many sets do you think we have?" And I know the one guy goes, 65. And I said, "Do you guys think more or less?" People go, "Oh, maybe less, maybe more." I don't know how many sets I had last year, but I guarantee we've only rolled into a game with maybe 3 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe had some, threw it away. And that's that tinkering again.
Yep.
Didn't like it. Change of horns, I probably got 5 ways to do things out of horns, but we might only go into a game with a couple being loaded, ready to roll. And I wouldn't guess that we had more than a dozen sets all year, but we probably didn't roll into the end of the year with more than about 3 or 4 live ready to go. That doesn't mean you can't draw something up out of recall at a timeout and then come out and run it, because we do that a little bit. But offense is pretty simple. I mean, you're just trying to get to some simple actions. I think defensively, don't overcook that as well. Just try to keep, you're faster when you know what you're doing. And defensively, we don't need 50 ways to defend a ball screen. Let's find a happy medium. And then I think you just scout stuff. I think you got to guard by scout a little bit as well, not completely getting away from your framework, but, So I think when high school coaches come and watch us, I think their first thing probably puts them back a little bit, like,
this is it.
He's sure going up the floor a lot 5-on-5.
Yeah.
But last time I checked, we go up and down the court 5-on-5. That's how we play. And so we never run. I mean, we never do killers. If we're doing a killer,
we run to win. Run to win, not run to consequence or anything like that. And Coach, the moment you started talking about playing fast and fast basketball, I mean, that piques my interest. Like, that is one of my passions and love, because a lot of times when coaches talk about wanting to play fast, I mean, my first thought is, okay, how many plays do you run? How many continuities do you have? How many secondary breaks do you go? Like, how many actions do you require? Like Chris Oliver talked about musts and possibilities. How many musts do you have that they have to get through before a possibility pops up that they can choose from, where they can attack some space? To your point, if you want to play fast, you want to play up tempo, you want to make things easier for your players, it's simplicity. But that ends up being sophistication. They're able to do more and see more, be more aggressive, have that, that 0.5 second mentality on the catch, because they know possibilities. There's space actually for that to happen, and they're not having to think so much. That thinking really slows players down. Not that we want them to not think at all, but we want them to be instinctive when they play, but know what they see and be able to do it.
No, I agree. And when you really break your seasons down, and I'm kind of in and out on stats and analytics. I mean, I pour into them and it's needed, but it doesn't like occupy my mind all year either.
Right.
I use them when needed, and I believe in them. I really believe in them. I believe it sets, especially on like what type of shots are good, what type of shots aren't good. Points per possession, we know it's this, so let's go find this. We know the other teams per scout, they're good at this. This kid gets to this. Well, let's try to take that away from, defensively, just try to take that stuff away, get them to take some less efficient, try to take the type of shots away that they make their most off of, and think in those terms. But I do know that you have to, like a fast break. I really like Brett Tipton, and I'm sure you probably Brent Tipton he's over in Germany now, but he's a big two-sided break guy. And so he's come out and worked for us at Snow Valley, and there's a lot of so if you look his stuff up on you, he's going to give you hours on the two-sided break. So in theory, there's a lot to that, but how we teach break, it's just like, let's get down and get to corners. We got to bracket that somehow. We got to get someone above, at a 45, kind of above that. And then our handler, they've got to be able to attack. It's all about getting to two, getting to paint, drawing defenders, spraying it.
Yeah.
And so I've never seen two fast breaks that even look similar. I mean, each one's their own little unique model. And so if you really break down, kind of circle back to the analytics of it, I don't know how much teams really score. I know it looks good, and a lot of presentations show the 10 clips of when they just really shoved it down the court and got what they wanted. I don't know how realistic that is. So to think that you're just, and I fall in this trap of spending so much time in transition early. Well, I think I'm better off just saying we're playing in space. We have to space our transition, and through that's going to give us some possibilities or opportunities. And so we probably teach it a little bit more that way, like how are we balancing the floor with spacing? The main goal is to draw defenders in that lane if we can get in there, and then to consistently have shooters that can catch and make them on the perimeter. And there's where, like, we didn't shoot it as well this year as we shot it the year before. We always are on that cusp of, I mean, our last two teams have been pretty good, not dominant, but pretty good. We've been in the NCAA tournament. And I think we're 31-7 in our league the last 2 years. So I think we're doing some good things there.
Yeah.
Count the tournaments too. But it's not like we're getting a bunch of race out layups. We just don't. I don't know.
I think drilling, to your point, pitching ahead for a rip and finish and repping that a ton. Like, I think we need to practice the things we do the most, the things that actually happen the most when we play. We do want to up it, maybe for an open three, or what we would call a 7 on our shooting scale. But I'm more concerned with, when we do up it, what can he do with it at that point? What space is available to him, and how are the others reacting to what he decides to do? Can he one more it? Can he baseline drift? Does he just attack the world in Brunson and just, what we say, relax and chill for a second there and allow people to get their feet set? I think you're right on the money. The ideas of, 5 guys circling through and continue to up it, lay it, up it, lay it, up it, lay it. Maybe at the end of the day, what is it? Is it a finishing drill for conditioning? Or do we actually think that that's something that we're going to get a ton, like a rim run? In my opinion, rim runs don't happen very much. So I would rather a guy, instead of going down there and sitting where we want the ball to go, I'd rather get shooters wide to corners, like you just said, man, open that thing up and allow offense to begin as soon as leather touches our fingertips. I had a coach say that he's like, when we get the ball, we are in offense. I think that's a shift, a mind shift. And if you are more of that conceptual style, like Doug Novak and all these guys now, it's like, leather touches, guys, we're on offense, which means our concepts are on. It's not once we cross half court. It's not if we don't get a layup, we're going to come back out and run offense. We're already in it. Coach, I apologize for that rant right there. Sorry.
Oh, I like it. And you brought up something about how you grade your shots. I know I just watched a short clip of Tyler Costin just did something. I just saw that. And he talked about looking for 9s and 7s.
That's right.
So I'm not the smartest cat in the world. So I'm like, okay, he's got some sort of hierarchy, what shots he's looking for. And so I replayed it a couple times, then tried to go find some more of his stuff, search. I was like, all right, now I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. I would love to see what, like you say, a 7. A 7 is probably a catch and shoot 3. Like,
Coach, I'd be honored to go through the scale, because Tyler and I are pretty good friends. I worked for PGC for years. And so the shooting scale is something we teach in shooting college. It's all Dick DiVenzio. So not to burst Tyler's bubble at all. But like you said at the very beginning, we're all borrowing.
We're all borrowing.
I do think Dick DiVenzio is one of the few where that dude's a creator. You know, there's some of those guys that you have to, if you retrace anything, there has to be somebody that thought, all right, like there's a different way to say it. And so Dick, but Coach, in my opinion, and I've said this a lot on here, so some people are going to like skip ahead or tune out, but in my opinion, shot selection scale and teaching it that way with my team is the number one thing that I've borrowed that's transformed our culture, overall culture, but offensively, the way how aggressive players are, and to get them to play courageously, because that's really what we want, to shoot with courage, to make one mores because they believe in their teammates. And shot selection is the most personal thing to players. What erodes confidence from between the coach and player, it's how you tell that player what they can and can't do with their shot. And so instead of talking in vague terms of, hey guys, only good shots right now. Well, you got little Timmy on your bench that thinks his best shot or his good shot is from half court step back. 5 different dudes that think differently about that. And you can try to, describe it here or there, different ways, good, great, bad, better one, stop taking bad shots. Anytime I hear coaches say that, I believe there's going to be conflict between them and their players. I want us to be in harmony and unison. So I ask my players, what's a 10? And they give me all different answers, Coach. A dunk, a layup, a free throw, a wide open shot. And I just ask them, guys, you ever missed a layup? They all raise their hands. I raise my hand. I give them the same story. Playing in Iceland for 1 year, my only place in the world that would have me play pro basketball was Iceland. I got a steal, 1-on-0 break, missed a layup, got the rebound in the air, missed it again. And so we take 10s off the table. So when a parent comes up and says, man, Johnny from 15 feet, he never misses that at home. When the sun's shining, there's no wind and everything's great. I just say, hey, guys, there's no 10. A 9 is a wide open layup. And we will hunt for 9s. We will be patient for 9s. We'll take every 9. We don't worry about missing 9s. Like that's a good goal for us. You skip 8s real quick. A 7 is a wide open jump shot within their range. The within their range part, I tell them that's where coaching comes in. Through our shooting games, through how we chart, through how they perform, we're all going to know what your 7 is, and we're going to all be on the same page. So then you go back to 8s and 6s, because Tyler's right. We want to hunt. Our offense should produce 7s and 9s. And that allows me to be not attached to the outcome of any offensive possession. Because if I'm only clapping when the ball goes through and I'm frustrated when we miss 9s or 7s, they're not going to play with courage. So if they miss 7s and 9s, they're going to see the same smile and cheering from me as if when even though they make it. Which, coach, that's hard. But again, we're talking. Go ahead.
I think we're the same way. I'll be real curious. I'm going to definitely tell you to send me that. And our guys know what we like because with Synergy, we chart all of our practices. We know if we're a 1.1 whatever, that's a kick out 3, long close out. That's a catch and shoot. You don't have to. You can shoot a set shot if you want. I don't care. That's a shot that you're at no pressure. So I think our guys understand that at a pretty high level. So I think early on when they have pickup games, I know that they correct the young guys.
Yeah.
It feels like when I finally get into practice, somebody's been working with them before, but it's our older guys. Like, we don't take hard shots. And we'll say that. And I think if you ask any of my guys that have been with me for a while, like, what does coach get mad about most consistently? I think they'll say, well, if you don't take a wide open 3 when you have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always think, and I think this is good for coaches too. We know the shots we want. We know some players aren't ready for that shot, but they've got to shoot it in practice. And then outside of practice is where I said, I'm not going to get mad that you take that shot because that's a shot that we're preaching that is what we want. Now, how you get on the floor, how you get minutes, or the people are the most efficient at taking the shots that we want. I mean, they make them at the highest level.
Yep.
And then also you've got to defend and all that. I mean, that plays into it obviously too. But I don't get mad at if we're trying to convert a kid that was stuck inside his whole high school career. I mean, we
I like that convert. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a kid named Cooper Cobbla. He's not a kid. He ended up leaving here, the all-time leading scorer, 2 years ago. But he's a high school center. Didn't shoot a ton of threes. He has our season record he shot 50% his like junior year from 3.
Wow.
Made a lot of threes. He was kind of a crafty old lefty. I always said, Coop, you're so slow, no one can guard you. I mean, he just had all the old man moves. And then his best friend, Jordan Mignani, broke Cooper's record this year. So we have back-to-back all-time leading scorers. And Jordan got it by making threes, getting to the line. But we do Nova drills every day. And all that it's all Jay Wright stuff, like you talked about, Brunson. We do it 2 ends. We go real quick with it. We probably have 20 different ways to do it, maybe more. You just keep making them up, but it's drive, 2, up, river, pivots, Barclays, get to 2 spray, get to 2 throwbacks. We'll have 4 or 5 of those every day, and we do them at both ends. But Jordan was as good as anybody in Division III at getting to 2 at 6 foot, getting up, getting shoulder, getting here. He was amazing. He was player of the year in our league. And so you get what you emphasize. And so we emphasize those shots. So I can't, like you're saying, I can't get mad when someone we're trying to convert who hasn't had opportunities. And I tell our guys too, you're going to get better looks in college than you did in high school, because in high school you were the guy, and they were probably always trying to attach themselves to you.
Yeah, that's a good
point. We're not taking defended threes. I mean, if that closeout is hard, I know what your guys are probably doing.
Yeah,
we're going to attack that.
Yeah,
we're that 0.5. We're either going to shoot it, we're going to drive it, or we're going to move it. And I think you can't get upset when somebody that's not ready to make that shot at the clip we want. Well, what are we going to wait till they work out every summer and come back and show you they can make them? They've got it at some point.
Yeah.
We started a big 6'9" center, Logan Sharp, for 4 years. He a 250-pound big. He didn't even hardly get to do any shooting in high school. He was a rebound guy and never shot a 3. Well, every day when we do drills, whether it's Nova drills, sometimes you're the driver, sometimes you're the guy sliding to the corner, And it's our centers. We had a 7-footer, that same deal. That and then we told Logan, you're going to have to start shooting those in practice, so somebody at least comes out and gets out of the lane. And he'd make them in practice. He took 3 of them last year, didn't make any of them in the season. But for 4 years, we had let him explore that.
Yeah.
And you can't stop practice. Say, you do this, you do that. I mean, the drill's got to flow. So everybody's got to shoot threes in the drills. And it just doesn't mean you're going to get them in the game. But I think you got to be able to, and that's like playing fast. Man, you got to be, and you guys, I know you guys play super fast. You've got to be okay with that ball going out the front door sometimes. Heck, every now and then you got to be okay with it going out the side door. I mean, it's going to get thrown around a little bit. To play fast, you've got to practice fast. You got to be okay with it.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.